acts of chanting of Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith on the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success of Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
Hare Krishna Padma Mataji Dandavat Pranam Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai Priti Dasi from Charlotte. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Priti Mataji Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvind Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. And to all the assembled devotees, this is Megha from Naperville. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Megha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj, all glories to assembled devotees. This is Mohini Lakshmi from Detroit.
Hare Krishna Mohini Lakshmi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Kamadiki Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Very
Hare
nice.
Krishna Padma Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vinita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, always to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. This is Padma Sakhi Devidasi from Florida. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Padma Sakhi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to all the devotees. This is Sushmita from Canada.
Hare Krishna Sushmita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and assembled devotees. Yashomati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna Yashomati Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, is that my thing? It is coming the disturbance or somebody else, Mataji?
I think yours, Mataji.
Yeah, it went away now. Okay. Hare Krishna. Sorry, Mataji, please go ahead. Is anybody who would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Padma
Hare Krishna Mataji. Sorry, go ahead, Mataji.
All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Rana.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Padma Mataji. This is Gayatri here from Chennai. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Gayatri Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Is this your first time, Mataji, or?
Sorry, Mataji.
Is this your first time joining the call, Mataji? Regularly joining, Mataji. Thank you very much, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Padma Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Harita from Houston, Texas.
Hare Krishna Harita Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Padma Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and all the assembled devotees. This is Indulekha Karuna Devi Dasi from Lincoln.
Hare Krishna Indulekha Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for joining the call, Mataji. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Welcome to Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are fortunate to have Her Grace Medhavini Sakhi Dasi Mataji for enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam 5th canto, 24th chapter and verse number 1 and 2 onward, 1 and 2. I would like to give to Padma Sakhi Mataji to give brief introduction about Medhavini Sakhi Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, please take over the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Padma Mataji. Her Grace Medhavini Sakhi Mataji is a disciple of His Holiness Jaipatak Swami Maharaj and received Harinam initiation in 2004 in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and Brahmanical initiation in Chennai in 2019. She is a chartered accountant by profession and has worked with leading multinational companies. Originally from Chennai, Tamil Nadu, currently staying in Mumbai with her husband, His Grace Harinam Krishnadas, and their 2 daughters. They are connected with Radha Giridhari Mandir, Meera Road, Radha Gopinath Mandir, and Jagannath Center, Thane. She serves as a coordinator, hosting and managing the Jaipatak Swami Sishya Samuha Mumbai programs and transcription, proofreading of His Holiness Jaipatak Swami Maharaj lectures. Other services during this lockdown include conducting daily online Brahmamurta Japa sessions, organized an international online quiz challenge based on Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita in celebration of Srila Prabhupada's 125th appearance anniversary this year, and takes online classes based on Srimad Bhagavatam. Thank you. Hare Krishna Mataji. Welcome once again. I hand over the call to you, Mataji. Padma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now I'll hand over the call to you, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji. Mataji, did you hear me, Mataji? I'm sorry. Did I speak on mute button?
Mataji is muted.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please take over the call, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, we still can't hear you. Maybe I think Mataji is froze or something.
Yeah,
Mataji.
seems like she's
Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Rajadana Ranjana Yashodhanandana Rajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadha Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Madhav Radhe Jaya Prabhupada Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Prabhupada Jaya Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Jaya Gurudev Jaya Srila Gurudev Jai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nam Sankirtan Ki Jai Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udhirayet Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistuti Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namo Pankajanabhaya Namo Pankajamaline Namo Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangre Pahi Pahi Mahayogi Deva Deva Jagatpate Nanyam Dvadabhayam Pashe Yatra Mrityu Parasparam. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining in for the Srimad Bhagavatam class. Today we are starting with chapter number 24 of Canto 5, which is entitled The Subterranean Heavenly Planets. So we go through verses 1 and 2 today and discuss it based on Srila Prabhupada's purport. So we'll recite the first verse. Shri Shuka Uvacha Atastat Savitur Yojanayute Svarbhanur Nakshatravat Charatiti Eke Yosav Amaratvam Grahatvam Chalavata Bhagavat Anukampaya Swayam Asura Pashadah Taimhi Keyo Hyatad Arhastasya Tata Janma Karmani Soparishthad Vakshamah. Translation. His Divine Grace, Abhishek Arvind, Bhakti Vedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ji. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, My dear king, some historians, the speakers of the Puranas, say that 10,000 yojanas, which is 80,000 miles, below the sun, is a planet known as Rahu, which moves like one of the stars. The presiding deity of that planet, who is the son of Simhika, is the most abominable of all asuras. But although he is completely unfit to assume the position of a demigod or a planetary deity, he has achieved that position by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Later, I shall speak further about him. Text 2. Yad adastaranet mandalam pratapatas tat vistarato yojanayutam achakshate dvadasha sahasram somasya trayodasha Sahasram Rahurya Parvanitad Vyavadhanakrit Vairanu Surya Chandra Masa Abhidavati. Translation, Mr. Prabhupada ki jai. The sun globe, which is a source of heat, extends for 10,000 yojanas, which is 18,000 miles, 80,000 miles. The moon extends for 20,000 yojanas, which is 160,000 miles. And Rahu extends for 30,000 yojanas, which is 240,000 miles. Formerly, when nectar was being distributed, Rahu tried to create dissension between the sun and moon by interposing himself in between them. Rahu is inimical towards both the sun and the moon, and therefore he always tries to cover the sunshine and moonshine on the dark moon day and full moon night. So yeah, there's a purport given by Srila Prabhupada. We'll discuss the purport as we discuss the verses in the session today. So we'll start with invocation prayers. Om Jnanakimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnupadhaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavad Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradhayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namine Gauradashe Namaha. Panchatattvaatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti Shaktikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Pancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhyaiva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Mukam karoti vachalam, pangum langayate girim, yatkripatamaham vande, Shri Gurum Dinatarinam, Paramanandamadavam, Shri Krishna Chaitanya Ishwaram, Hari Om. Hare Krishna. So thank you all for joining in. So we'll quickly read the translation of verse 1 and 2 again. So this is spoken by Srila Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. Shukadeva Goswami is saying, my dear king, some historians, the speakers of the Puranas, say that 10,000 yojanas below the sun is the planet known as Rahu, and the presiding deity of that planet is also Rahu. Right? Although Rahu is a demon, he assumed the position of a demigod or a planetary deity only because of the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The sun globe, the second verse translation is the explanation of the sun globe, which is the source of heat. It extends for 10,000 yojanas. The moon extends for 20,000 yojanas, which is almost the double. And Rahu extends for 30,000 yojanas. Formerly, the nectar was being distributed. Rahu tried to create a dissension between the sun and moon, interposing himself between them. And Rahu is inimical to both the sun and moon. And he always tries to cover the sunshine and the moonshine on the dark moon day and the full moon night, which we call as the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. So Hare Krishna. So these two verses very beautifully depicts the continuation of the material creation, how the material creation has been explained very wonderfully by Shukadeva Goswami to Parikshit Maharaj. Right? So this particular verse is talking about the Rahu planet. Right? Rahu, like it's mentioned in the translation, Rahu is a planet, right? And the planetary deity is also Rahu. Right? Rahu is actually a demon who, by the grace of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he became the planetary deity, or almost like a demigod in this planet called Rahu. Right? Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dvesho sinapriya. So I'm equal to all, Krishna says. I don't envy anyone, and I'm not partial to anyone. Right? Whoever approaches Lord Sri Krishna, ye yatamam prapadyante tam tataiva bhajamiham. He who surrenders, accordingly I reward. So like that, this pastime, let's see how Rahu became the presiding deity of this planet. So in chapter 16 of the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, the demons and the demigods are always existing and they keep fighting with each other to assert the kingdom, right? So it is said, this all started when Shukracharya, he got a Sanjeevani mantra. By the Sanjeevani mantra, he could actually revive anybody who's dead, right? So when the Asuras and the Devatas were fighting for the position, right? What happened? Shukracharya was reviving all the Asuras who were dead in the battle using the Sanjeevani mantra. So what happened? The Asuras were getting more and more powerful, and then Indra didn't know what to do because the demigods, when they they were getting powerless because they were losing out on their people, whereas the Asuras, because of the Sanjeevani mantra, they were not losing out anybody. In this way, the Asuras were getting more and more powerful. And Lord Indra, like it's always said, whenever the demigods are in need of anything, right? They are called Sakama Bhaktas. Whenever they need of anything, they approach Lord Vishnu. So Indra approached Lord Vishnu and told that we need your help to get back our kingdom, right? So Vishnu said, you have to do Samudra Manthan, right? The churning of the ocean. It's not like the churning of the buttermilk. You take butter out. One person can do the churning. That itself is a big process, right? You have to keep churning until the butter actually floats on top. So that can be done by one person. But this is Samudra Manthan. The churning of the entire ocean has to be done. And Indra says, oh my Lord, how is it possible? And Lord Vishnu says, yes, it can be done, but it has to be done by both the Devas and the Asuras together. So Indra has got a task now. He goes to the Asuras and he tells them, you will get nectar and we can be immortal if you can help us churn the ocean. So finally, the Asuras agree, and the Devatas and the Asuras, they actually churn using the Vasuki. Vasuki, the snake, they use that as the churning rod and they churn the ocean. So a lot of things come out, poison comes out, and then finally, after a lot of effort, actually the earth also sinks into the ocean, and then the Lord appears as Varahadev too, and he brings the earth up to the on top of the ocean, the surface, and then they use Vasuki as the churning rod, and they churn the ocean. Finally, Dhanvantari appears with the pot of nectar in one hand, Ayurvedic text in one hand, conch in one hand, and lotus flower in one hand. He appears. So the Devatas and the Asuras are very excited. They see the nectar, and then immediately they start fighting. Right? So all the effort, they've seen the result in front of their eyes, and what happens? Both of them want the nectar, and they start fighting. And then what happens? Lord Vishnu, he asks Garuda to actually get the pot of nectar from Dhanvantari. So in this process, actually one drop spills in that place. So that place is where the Kumbh Mela happens, right? So finally, Garuda takes the pot of nectar, he gives it to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu, what he does, he assumes the beautiful form of Mohini Murti. Right? He appears in the form of Mohini Murti, enchants everybody around, especially the demons are so enchanted to this beautiful form of Mohini Murti. And then Mohini Murti asks the demons, whom should I give the nectar? And the demons are saying, enamored by the Mohini Murti, the demons are saying, whomever you want to give, you please give it. And then Mohini Murti asks both of them to sit in two lines. Asura sits in one line, the demigod sits in one line. And Mohini Murti actually starts giving to the demigods in that particular line. At that time, this Rahu, the demon, right, he's very smart. He disguised himself as a demigod. He sat in the line of the Devatas. See, Mohini Murti is Lord Vishnu himself. So very clearly he knows that Rahu is a demon in disguise, and he is sitting here. Yet the Lord, out of his own causeless mercy, he does not want even to tell Rahu, I will not give you the nectar. He was sitting there, so automatically Lord Vishnu, in the form of Mohini Murti, gave the nectar to Rahu. Immediately, what happened? Suryadev and Chandradev, they realized, oh, it's a demon who's sitting there. And then Mohini Murti, as soon as he heard, the voice of the Chandradev and Suryadev, immediately he invoked the Sudarshan Chakra and cut off the head of Rahu. But Rahu had already tasted nectar; it had almost gone to his throat, so his head has kind of become immortal. Right? So this Rahu actually became the presiding deity of the Rahu planet because he got the nectar, and this was only by the causeless mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Right? And in this verse, it is also very beautifully explained how this Rahu planet is 30,000 yojanas long. It is twice bigger than the moon planet, and it is also twice bigger than the sun planet. Right? So Rahu is twice bigger than the moon planet, and moon planet is twice bigger than the sun planet. So generally, if you go with the scientific logic, we are not able to understand this, right? We always see that the sun is the fiery planet. We get our entire sunlight, right? That's what illuminates the entire earthly planet. So we are not able to believe how come the moon is described as twice bigger than the sun planet, right? So we can also see, because it's beyond our understanding, right? So we can see that, this entire material creation, what we're talking about, is only 1/4 of the entire creation. The 3/4 is that of the spiritual creation, right? We are in this 1/4 world. If we compare, say for example, we compare this entire material creation to a building, right? So the building has 14 floors, right? Each of the floor, it goes in, the height increases than that of the previous floor, right? The foundation of a building will be like, say, bricks and cement, right? But the foundation of this entire material creation, the Garbhodaka ocean, in which Lord Vishnu is sleeping. And from the pores of his body, so many material worlds are created, right? And each material creation has got 14 floors, right? We can see 14 planetary systems. We have the 7 lower planetary systems, like we have the Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and finally we have the Patala down. And going up, the 8th planet, right? These are the 7 are called as the lower planetary systems, right? The 8th planet is where we stay. It's called the Bhumandal, right? We studied in our previous chapters of this canto. We studied in elaborate about the Bhumandal, right? How it's divided into 7 dvipas. The Bharata Varsha is there, the Meru mountain is there. Like that, it's very beautifully explained, right? The Bharata Varsha. So now, today, what we are reading, the verse is about the 9th floor or the 9th planetary system, which is above the Bhuloka. It's called as the Bhuvar Loka, right? And this is also called Antariksh, right? So we have this Bhu, Bhuvar, and Swaha. Bhu is the Bhumandala. Bhuvar is in between the Swarga Loka and the Bhuloka. So that is the Bhuvar Loka. So it is said Vidyadharas, Rakshasas, Pretas, Charanas, and all of them stay in this particular Loka, right? And this planet extends till about the Swarga Loka, right? And above that, of course, you have your Janaloka, Maharloka, Tapaloka, and finally you have the Brahma Loka, right? Which is where the 14 planetary systems end. And beyond that, beyond the Satya Loka or the Brahma Loka, the spiritual world starts, Mahatattva, right? So these are the 14 planetary systems. Today we are going to focus on the 9th planetary system, which is the Bhuvar Loka, right? So actually very important 2 learnings we have learned until now. One, see, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is equal to all and is merciful to all. Even if it is a demon who is taking shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and asking something, the Supreme Personality of Godhead will give, right? In the Ramayana also it is said, when Vibhishana leaves the association of Ravana, he comes to Lord Ram. At that time, Lakshmana says, "Oh, how can we trust this? Birds of the same feather flock together. His brother Ravana is so, he's stolen your wife. He's completely sinful. So how can we trust his brother?" So Lord Ram says, Lord Ram actually waits. He looks at Hanuman. What do you think? Like that. And then Hanuman says, we have to trust Vibhishana, right? Lord Ram said, yes, we have to trust Vibhishana. And Lord Ram tells a very wonderful point. He tells, even if Ravana today, if he comes to me and begs forgiveness, I will forgive Ravana, right? The entire war would not have been required. Only if Ravana had come and surrendered to Lord Ram. So such is the merciful nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Ram, right? Lord Krishna. Second thing what we learn is, see, all these yojanas, 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, it's all completely beyond our material understanding, isn't it? We have to just, believe that something like this exists, right? How a small Rahu planet can actually cover the sun, and the Earth is not able to get the sunlight, and the solar eclipse is created, and how the Rahu actually covers the moon, and then the lunar eclipse is created. Again, it is so difficult to believe it, right, with our material senses or with our material intelligence. So, a very good lesson from this is you have to just be humble and you have to have faith in the scriptures, right? I heard in one of Srila Prabhupada's conversation with his disciples, wherein Srila Prabhupada's purport, the disciple was reading from Srila Prabhupada's purports, what Prabhupada has written, right? Talatala, Rasatala, Patala, Mahatala, and all that. Srila Prabhupada is saying, what are you reading? I cannot understand anything. Why don't you say something simple? And then Tamal Krishna Maharaj was there and he said, Srila Prabhupada, he's reading from your purports only. And then Srila Prabhupada said, actually, I don't understand this at all. When I was writing the 5th canto, I told Krishna, please help me to write this 5th canto. And hence, all the purports of this canto are actually dictated by Lord Krishna himself. This is what Prabhupada said in the conversation. In another conversation, when this particular topic was discussed on this eclipse, when it was discussed, one devotee asked Prabhupada, how can Rahu attack the sun? And how the sun cannot be seen on the earth? How does this eclipse and all happen? And then as he was asking this question, he actually walked towards Srila Prabhupada. And then Prabhupada was here and the devotee was here. right? And then Prabhupada immediately said, now when I attack you, I will not be able to see who is behind you, right? And then the devotee was a little shaken, he was just looking, and then Tamal Krishna Maharaj comes in between Prabhupada and the devotee, and he says, and he tells the devotee, now I cannot see Prabhupada because you have come in between me and Prabhupada. So in this way, very beautifully, Srila Prabhupada explained this concept of how the Rahu attacks the sun planet, and then the sun is not seen from the earth, and then it results in solar eclipse. And then when the Rahu attacks the moon planet, then the moon is not seen from the earth planet, and then this lunar eclipse occurs. So, actually, all this, Prabhupada himself is saying that I don't understand this, and Krishna has himself written this, dictated this purport to me. So, we have to very clearly understand here that there is a lot of things that I don't know, that we don't understand with our material senses. It just, so why is this explained in such great detail, right? Parikshit Maharaj has got only 7 days to live, right? Now he's already heard from Shukadeva Goswami from 1st to the 5th canto. Say 2-3 days have already gone, and he's got just 4 more days left. So why is it essential to learn about this Rahu planet? You know, why not just remember Krishna? Why not just read the 10th canto, remember Krishna and go back home, right? No. What does Prabhupada says? Prabhupada says you have to follow, you have to read the canto in a systematic manner from the 1st canto till the 9th canto, right? From the lotus feet, slowly you have to progress. Each canto represents, you know, the legs of the Lord, the thighs of the Lord, the chest of the Lord, and then you go to the lotus feet of the Lord, right? So, unless we know the greatness of Lord, we cannot understand the sweetness of the Lord, right? The sweetness of the Lord is described in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, right? Which Prabhupada has also given us in the form of the Krishna book. Not deprived of anything. Even the entire Krishna Leela, which is the sweetness of Lord Krishna, is already given in the Krishna book. But the Prabhupada says, Srimad Bhagavatam, you have to go step by step, right? Parikshit Maharaj had only 7 days, yet he went from canto 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5th canto, which is completely about the material creation. Why this is important? Because it helps us to understand the greatness of Lord Krishna, the greatness of God, right? Vishnu himself appears from Krishna. He's an amsha of Krishna. Garbhodakashayi Vishnu, Kshirodakashayi Vishnu, Karanakashayi Vishnu, they all appear from Krishna, right? It gives an indication of the greatness of God, who's able to create so many universes just from the pores, right? He's able to create so much universes, and he himself has got expanded from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Lord Shri Krishna. Iti Shamsa Kalapamsha, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, Indrari Vyakulam Lokam, Hridayanti Yuge Yuge. Right? He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, and when he wants to create, he takes the form of, he just glances into the material nature through Lord Shiva, and then this material world is created, and then the Karanakashayi ocean, the Karanakashayi Vishnu is lying down, and then he from his pores, material universes are created, and in each material universe, Garbhodakashayi Vishnu enters, and when Garbhodakashayi Vishnu navel, the lotus stem sprouts out, on which Brahma is there. Brahma doesn't know what to do, and then he hears the word tapa, tapa, tapa. He does meditation for 1,000 years, and then he does this material creation because of the knowledge revealed in his heart by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Where Lord Krishna says in 10.11, right? I destroyed ignorance. How? Nashayami atmabhavastu jnana deepena bhashvataha. By the torchlight of knowledge, I destroyed ignorance in the heart. So in this way, Lord Krishna will reveal all this tattva, right? Whatever tattva is required for us to get back home, back to Godhead, to engage in devotional service, Krishna will reveal them to us. We cannot try to understand with our material senses. We have to understand that God is great. He has created all of these universes, right? And they are all working so perfectly well, with no problems, no planets interspersing with each other, no problems at all, right? And the energies of the Lord are immeasurable and are inconceivable, right? Very, very beyond our conception, all of this is. So we just have to have implicit faith in the scriptures, because it's apaurushaya. Apaurushaya means you are beyond the defects. There is no tendency to commit mistakes. There is no tendency to cheat. There's no imperfect senses, and there is no illusion, right? Apaurushaya. All of these Vedic scriptures which are given by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, like Lord Krishna says, Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto Matas Mritir Jnanam Apohanamcha. I give intelligence, I give the knowledge, I give the remembrance, I also give the forgetfulness, Krishna says. So Krishna will make us understand what, and right now what we have to do is just read it, try to understand it, at the same time depend on the Lord, and hear with faith, and understand that these are immeasurable, these are inconceivable. Right? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9.10, Maya dikshena prakritihi suyati sacharacharam etunanena kaunteya jagad viparivartate. So the material nature is working under my direction, but not directly. Right? The cosmic manifestation it's an automatic process. It creates annihilated again and again. It works under the direction of the Supreme Lord. Right? But the Lord does not personally interfere in small things. Right? It happens in his direction, like he is the CEO. And all of them have got their jobs. They do their jobs well as administrators of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is the inconceivable nature of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So 2 points we learned until now. First point is, the Lord, irrespective of our condition, when we surrender to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Lord will provide his mercy. That's the first one. Second one, the material creation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives us a glimpse of the greatness of the Lord. Right? So the quality of a devotee is that you should be simple, there should be simplicity in the heart, and you should have implicit faith in the words of the Lord, in the scriptures. Right? You may not intellectually understand the subject matter, but we should understand that these subject matters, in order to understand these at some point in time, we need to have a submissive attitude, we need to have humility, and we need to attract the attention of the Lord. Right? Lord Krishna says, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Pranatapi Shunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna. Right? A tree laden with fruits is actually going down. Right? Only a tree does not have any fruits, which does not have any good qualities, it stands up like this. Right? So in order to attract the attention of the Lord, we need and to understand these subject matters which enable us to understand the greatness of the Lord, we need to have humility, we need to have a sincere attitude, and we need to have implicit faith in the Vedic literatures. Right? Yasya devi parabhaktir yata devi tata guru tasyaita katiyartaha prakashante mahatmanaha. So by having implicit faith in the Lord and the spiritual master, what happens? The imports of the entire Vedic knowledge are automatically revealed in our heart. Right? We don't have the qualification, but they are revealed into our hearts, seeing our nature of surrender, seeing our nature of humility, seeing our submissive attitude. So once when Srila Prabhupada actually saw it on the TV that people have landed on the moon, right? It was showing in the TV channels, and the news reporter said that this moon actually looks like an Arizona desert. And then Srila Prabhupada said, why do they say it looks like Arizona desert? They probably landed there only, and they're shooting there only, and they're possibly displaying it in the TV channels, right? You cannot enter into the moon with this material body. So Srila Prabhupada very clearly said that this lunar expedition has not happened. It is not a success at all. Right? So they also give an example how one can go to a particular country. Right? You can purchase a ticket, take a flight, and go to a particular country. You can reach the airport. But in order to get into the country, you need to have the visa. Right? Otherwise, you'll be asked to turn back. Right? From the airport, you have to come back to the country from where you started, because you don't have the permit to go into that particular country. Of course, being in the airport, this also means that you have reached that country. But it's not actually reaching that country, right? Because you're not allowed to enter there. You're asked to return back from there because you don't have the permit. So, like that, Srila Prabhupada has written a book, a wonderful easy journey to other planets, right? Wherein he mentions what is the qualification to enter into the spiritual world, to enter into the demigods planets also. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Yanti Deva Vrata Deva Pitranyanti Pitravrataha Bhutani Yanti Bhutija Yagi Madhyaji Nopinam, right? If you want to go to the planet of the demigods, you have to worship the demigods. You have to please them, and then you have to go. You cannot use material equipment to go to another planet, right? Then it will be a complete failure, because with this body is suitable only for the earth, right? I cannot enter into the Surya planet because it's so hot there. I just burn, right? Similarly, Prabhupada also mentions that moon is also a fiery planet, right? It does not actually gel with what the scientists have discovered, right? Because the scientists say that the moon actually draws its light from the sun. But Srila Prabhupada says moon is a fiery planet. Moon also has its light of its own. Why? Because we don't feel the moon's light so much. It's because the moon is further away. The sun is closer to the earth planet. That's the reason we're able to see the sun and feel the sunlight, right? The moon is further away. That's why you're not able to feel the full fiery nature of the moon, as that Srila Prabhupada explains. So, very complex, right? To understand these things. So again and again, we have to remind ourselves, what limited knowledge we have, right? We are staying in, some small place, which is only 1/4 of the creation, and I am a small Jivatma, and multitudes of Jivatma, millions of Jivatmas are there, and I am still in the 1/4 part of the material creation. And I think either I am God or I can understand everything with my senses and with my intelligence. I can do everything, right? That's a complete illusion, right? So we have to completely surrender to the Supreme Lord, and then, in our real ego of being the servant of the Supreme Lord, by the Lord's mercy, actually we can understand everything. So very beautiful, in the Krishna book, we see this Brahma Vimohan Leela, right? Where the Brahma steals the cows, the calves, and the cowherd boys, thinking that Krishna is just an ordinary boy, and he steals all of them, and then he wants to see the power of Krishna, and he steals them, and he puts them in the Satyaloka, and then he sees that all of the cowherd boys, the calves, and the cows are all there, and then after some time he sees that in Vrindavan also everything is going on as usual. Nobody is crying, that there's my cow is missing, my calf is missing, or my son is missing. Nobody is crying. And then Brahma comes and sees what is happening in Vrindavan. He sees that the Krishna is herding the cows and the calves, and the cowherd boys are playing with Krishna. And then immediately Brahma goes to the Satyaloka again and checks, oh, are they there? Oh, they are there, and they are there also. Right? Brahma himself, who creates the entire material universe, he himself is bewildered. He is not able to comprehend or understand what is Krishna's plan. How come they are there and here also? And then finally, he bends down and begs forgiveness from the Supreme Lord. Right? So if this is the state of Brahma, who is a perfected human being, who is the secondary creator, right? So we have a topic of secondary creation also. Sarga, Visarga. Visarga talks about secondary creation, wherein the glories of Brahma is there. Right? Brahma is creating all of the planets. Once he receives this knowledge from Lord Krishna, and yet Brahma himself, is humbled. Right? If you are not humble, then we will be humbled. Right? Because our position is that of a servant. If we try to do something which is not in our constitutional position, then we will be brought back to that constitutional position. Jivera Swarupa Hoye, Krishnera Nityadas. Right? If we try to become the controller, if we try to become the master of all the things that we survey, then we will be humbled. We will be brought back to the position that we are, which is our constitutional position. Right? Even Brahma was humbled like that. Right? Of course, these are leelas of the Lord to teach us specific instructions. Brahma, Indra, all of them, they are all administrators of the Lord. So the Lord, actually it is said how, the mother-in-law, right, does not correct the daughter-in-law directly, right? When the daughter-in-law does some work which is not correct, not in a way that is to be done, the mother-in-law actually corrects her own daughter. In this way, the daughter-in-law understands, oh, my mother-in-law is actually correcting me. In this way, the daughter-in-law also does not feel bad. At the same time, the mother-in-law communicates her points through her daughter, right? Similarly, the Lord actually gives various instructions through his devotees. The Brahma, Indra, all of them are instruments to help us understand why we should not be puffed up, why there is no reason for us to be puffed up. And if at all we act in a manner that is not to our constitutional position, we will be brought back, we will be humbled. You also see how Arjuna was also an instrument, right? Arjuna was an instrument for the entire Bhagavad Gita to be delivered. And Arjuna, when he sees the universal form, he is so bewildered. He says, oh Krishna, I was thinking you are my friend. I was sitting with you, I was eating with you, I was walking with you, and I was just treating you like a normal friend. Right? Now, after seeing the universal form, I see how small I am. Right? So tiny and so small I am. I beg forgiveness for all that I've done. As your friend, considering myself your equal, like that. So when we realize, when we read these pages of the 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we understand, the entire material creation, how profound it is, how great God is, and how these things wonderfully happen, without any, without any repair work that is required, right? Even for small things, what we try to do, in 1 or 2 years they get repaired, and then we have to get, the washing machine repaired or our AC repaired, like that, right? So now when the heat has started, we look at the AC and it's not, used it for 1 year, now it's not working. You have to get it serviced, and then it's not working. So how wonderfully Lord Krishna has created a universe which works so very wonderfully well in a perfect mode, right? So we have to just depend on Lord Krishna to understand how great Lord Krishna is and how we are menial servants and who can experience ultimate bliss simply by serving the Supreme Lord. And we can serve the Supreme Lord as a servant only when we know the greatness of the Lord. The Lord is great. The Lord is the master. The Lord is the supreme controller, supreme enjoyer, and the owner of everything. And I have been given custody of these things. So I will work, use these things, use these resources, use these skills to serve the Lord. That is the best utility, right? So Prabhupada says, utility is the principle and preaching is the essence, right? Utility is the principle. So whatever we have in terms of our skills, in terms of our resources, in terms of the material body, whatever we have, to utilize it in the service of Krishna. That is the best utility of whatever being given to us, right? And it is also explained how we can understand all of these things, right? Only when we have implicit faith, that we also already saw that. Implicit faith in who are? Implicit faith in the Shastras, implicit faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Guru, right? Krishnam Vande Jagat Guru, right? And also implicit faith in a bona fide spiritual master. So Arjuna tells in Bhagavad Gita that I'm so confused. Shishyasteham tadi mam tuam prapannam. I am surrendering myself unto you. Please guide me. And Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita 4.34, Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. Tatvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Render service unto the spiritual master and humbly ask inquiries. You know, it has to be humble, it has to be in a surrendered mood. It should not be in a challenging mood, right? Pariprashnena sevaya. Upadekshanti te jnanam. They can give you this knowledge. Why? Jnaninas tattva darshinaha. Because the spiritual master has already realized this knowledge in his heart, he will be able to reveal it to you. Seeing your service attitude, seeing your eagerness, your curiosity, your jignasa, right? The mood to understand these wonderful topics about Krishna. Lord Sri Krishna actually sends the Guru, right? By the mercy of Krishna, we get a Guru, and by the mercy of Guru, we get Krishna, right? Seeing our humility, seeing our service attitude, seeing our questions, which are our desire to understand Lord Sri Krishna. Krishna sends us the bona fide spiritual master, by whose mercy we are able to understand these things. By rendering service to the spiritual master, we are able to understand these things. And the bona fide Guru actually reveals everything in our heart, right? So one more learning what we get here is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he protects his devotees directly once. In one way, he directly protects his devotees in the form of Paramatma, and he also protects his devotees in the form of Guru, right? And he also gives his protection when we chant his holy names, right? Nama Chintamani Krishna Chaitanya Rasa Vigraha Urna Shuddho Nityamukto Abhinnatva Nama Namino. So the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra is also one of the ways by which we can take complete shelter, we can be under the complete protection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, right? So Krishna protects us. That is the ultimate protection, right? It is not either our protection of our material body or saving ourselves from death. That is not protection. If you are born in this world, you have to die, right? And one who dies, if he does not perfect his life, he is to be again born according to the desires that he cultivates in his mind, right? With a subtle body of mind, intelligence, and false ego, again he gets born according to the desires he has at the time of his death. Unless one perfects his life by thinking of Krishna, one can go back home, back to Godhead. Otherwise, one who is born has to die, and one who is dying, unless he perfects his life, he has to be reborn again, according to the desires that he's cultivated, right? So Kunti Devi, she had so many difficulties, right? She prayed to Lord Krishna that may these difficulties come to me again and again, right? Because I'm able to think of you when I'm distressed, right? We cannot artificially pray like that. Right? I want difficulties, only then I can think of you. But whatever situation comes in our life, we can know that Suhradam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mrichati. Suhradam Sarva Bhutanam. Right? Krishna is our supreme well-wisher. Krishna is our supreme friend. So whatever happens to us, whatever situation we are placed in, we know that it is the mercy of Lord Sri Krishna, and Krishna is my supreme well-wisher. It is the best thing what is happening to me. In that way, when we take shelter of Lord Krishna, then Krishna provides his protection. He provides his protection either through as Chaitya Guru from our heart, or he provides protection through a bona fide Guru. Right? So what we have to do, we have to just accept all situations, having faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and in the bona fide spiritual master in Srila Prabhupada, that everything that's happening to me is for my purification and is taking me closer to Krishna. So these are the wonderful learnings that we can learn from this particular verse, right? A very interesting story of Mohini Murti, wherein we learn important lessons of how a demon is actually getting the position of a planetary deity, right? Who takes care of the deity, who takes care of the Rahu planet, simply by the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and how the Lord is equal to everyone. At the same time, he says he's inclined to his devotees. He protects the devotees while he is equal to all, right? It's in the capacity of us to receive it, right? The instrument that we have to receive, right? The sun actually gives its sunshine to everybody, right? In all the places the sunshine is there. But if we are staying inside a room, which is completely full of darkness, right? And we don't want to go out, then we feel that the sun is partial. The sun is not giving me sunlight here in this place. But the sun is open, right? We have to open our hearts to receive the mercy. The mercy is everywhere. We have to open our hearts and we have to hear the message of the Lord, either through the Lord himself from our heart, because then the anarthas are all removed. And the pride, envy, illusion, lust, anger, greed, that which we've accumulated for so many lifetimes because of the unauthorized desires that we have. When all those layerings are removed by execution of devotional service, we're able to understand what Lord Krishna says from our heart. Even now, Lord Krishna is actually talking to us, but we're not able to hear Krishna because of these layerings of anarthas that we have in our heart. So we can pray that may we have this kind of implicit faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the spiritual master, and perform our devotional service according to their instructions. And in this way, when we realize the greatness of the Lord, and we realize how we are humble servants of the Lord, and we act in that capacity, when we attract the mercy of the Lord, and then we go to a place where we have complete bliss, where in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So I'll just finish with one beautiful story. The story is of a Brahmana and a cobbler. So what happens? Narada Muni actually is going to the spiritual world. So he meets a Brahmana and a cobbler, and he tells both of them, I'm going back to the spiritual world. So first he meets the Brahmana, and the Brahmana asks the Narada Muni, can you ask Lord Vishnu when I can go back home, back to Godhead? And Narada Muni said, okay, I will check with Lord Vishnu. And then the cobbler also asks him the same thing. When will I go back to Lord Vishnu? And then Narada Muni goes to Vaikuntha. He sees Lord Narayan. He glorifies Lord Narayan. And then he asks that I have a question from a Brahmana as well as a cobbler as to when they would come back home, back to Godhead. And Lord Narayan said, the Brahmana will take so many lifetimes, whereas the cobbler will come back in this lifetime. Narada Muni was quite shocked because from our material standards, we know that Brahmana is considered more elevated than a cobbler. And he asks Lord Narayan, how is this? And then he tells Narada Muni, you go and meet them and tell them, and whatever they ask you, you reply to them in this way. He tells Narada Muni what to do. And accordingly, Narada Muni comes back. He tells the Brahmana that, you will go back home, but after many, many lifetimes. And then the Brahmana is like, what? Did you even go to Vaikuntha? How can you say that? He was very upset. And he said, I'm not very sure you really went to Vaikuntha. You tell me what was Lord Narayan doing, right? And then Narada Muni said, Lord Narayan was actually putting an elephant in the eye of a needle. The Brahmana said, yes, I thought so. You have not gone to meet Lord Narayan. How can anyone put an elephant in the eye of a needle? You're bluffing. You have not even gone to Vaikuntha. Now I know why you're telling that I will take so many lifetimes. That's not possible because I'm so pure. I have to go back in this lifetime. I don't believe you. And then Narada Muni walks away. And then he meets the cobbler. And then he tells the cobbler that you will go back home in this lifetime. And the cobbler is overjoyed. He offers pranams to Narada Muni. He says, the Lord is so merciful. In spite of my such a low condition, the Lord is wanting to take me back in this lifetime itself. So what was the Lord doing? Can you tell me? And then Narada Muni said the same thing. He said, the Lord was actually putting an elephant in the eye of a needle. And then the cobbler was overjoyed. He said, oh my Lord, what all wonderful, inconceivable things you can do. Oh my God. I mean, I'm so excited to hear the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. And then Narada Muni is saying, do you believe what I'm saying? How can someone put an elephant in the eye of a needle? And the cobbler says, if a Lord can put a big tree into a small seed, right? When you water the seed, it's a big plant and a big tree that actually comes out. When the Lord can do that, why can't the Lord actually put an elephant in the eye of a needle? The Lord can do anything. And Narada understood that the faith that the cobbler had in the Lord, the Brahmana did not have. And that's why the cobbler was eligible to go back home back to Godhead. So the most important lesson that we learn in this is that we have to have implicit faith. We cannot understand, we cannot conceive the greatness of the Lord by our own material mind, intelligence. But if you have implicit faith in the Lord, in all circumstances, if you are humble and in this way you experience the protection of the Lord, that is the best situation to be at all times. So we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. So thank you all for your kind and patient hearing. Vansha kalpa sarubhyascha, kripa sindhubhyeva, Patitanam Pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo, Namo Namah. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Srila Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. Hare Hare. Hare
Hare Hare Krishna Mataji, Hari Bol. Such a wonderful power packed class, Mataji. Such a beautiful class. So basically, just very nicely you emphasized on this, having that implicit faith, surrendering to Krishna, being humble. We can ask questions, but being humbly, not challenging way, and have that following what Guru Maharaj has guided us, we'll get to where we need to go to. So very, very nicely narrated all the things, Mataji. Very good pastimes and a very nice class, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Devotees, please, if you have any questions, please raise your hands, or you can, I'll go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your questions. Puja Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Mataji, how can we control our mind while doing chanting? If if we are struggling with health issues, at that time our mind goes here and there, and in that situation, how could we control our mind, Mataji? Chanting is the main process of Krishna consciousness, as we all know. But if I want to try to engage myself in Krishna Damodar's roop, is it right? While doing chanting, if I focus on Damodar's roop, only Damodar's roop, I respect Radharani and Krishna Kishore roop.
Your voice is breaking little bit. I don't know if it's just only for me.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, can you maybe speak a little louder, Mataji? So voice is little bit very low, Mataji, so we are not able to hear very clearly, Mataji, the question.
Yeah, I got your question, Mataji. Just confirm. You're saying, the mind goes here, there, everywhere when you try to chant. Is that the question, Mataji? How do we focus the mind on the holy names when we chant the Hare Krishna mantra?
Especially when we are suffering from any health issue, Mataji, it's that time we are, at that time, as far as I'm concerned, I'm struggling. I'm not focusing on the mantra. I'm trying to do so that I totally focused on the holy name, of Krishna and Radha, which is Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. But the mind go here and there, especially when the health issues is going on. Actually, I'm going through the period, the proper period of menopause. At that time, hormonal imbalance and all that health issues are occurring. My age is 42. I'm from Haridwar. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Mataji, thank you very much. A very wonderful question. We all face it, right? So the best thing, Mataji, is to take the association of devotees. right? We have devotees who are exemplary devotees who, in spite of their health issues, are able to chant in such a way that inspire us, right? When we see such devotees chant in spite of their not being well, we are inspired to chant, and we chant with them, right? When we are chanting in a congregation of devotees during the Brahma Muhurta in the morning time, if you're able to do, then such chanting actually energizes us in spite of our health issues. We can also think of His Holiness Jayapataka Swami Maharaj, how Maharaj had a brain stroke and he was unconscious, completely unconscious for close to 10 to 12 days. And I just heard from Mahavaraha Prabhu that Guru Maharaj actually, he counted the number of days in which he had not chanted. And after that, he made up for all those number of rounds that he missed during those 10 days. And he also chanted 500 extra rounds, right? So we cannot imitate these wonderful pure devotees, but we can draw inspiration from them, right? When we are completely unwell, Krishna can understand that, we are not able to chant, we are completely, either, completely in the sense that completely in pain, that you're not able to chant at all, right? Then Krishna understands, right? What we do is, see, our hands, our mind, our ears, nose, everything is given by Lord Krishna, right? What we own as our own is our soul, right? And what we have, the soul, we have the propensity to desire, right? If we desire in our heart, right, that I want to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, our body may not be cooperating, but we have this intense desire that I want to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra for the pleasure of my Guru Maharaj, for the pleasure of Prabhupada, for the pleasure of Lord Krishna, then we get some strength which we ourselves are not aware of, right? We complete our rounds, we chant extra rounds also in some days, right? In some days we're just able to manage, and on those days, Mataji, when our health is totally bad, we're not able to, we can make note of the rounds that we have not done. When our health is back, in say 2 or 3 days, we can complete our chanting of those rounds on the future days. We can do in extreme situations and our health does not permit at all. Then we can take guidance from our senior devotees and act according to their instruction. Probably, if they are okay, then we can actually take carry forward our rounds and do it. Sometimes when we think that we've not done our chanting properly, however, we have done our 16 rounds. In such cases also, Krishna will appreciate, Guru Maharaj will appreciate that on days when you're actually feeling the taste for chanting, we chant extra rounds, right? On Ekadashi days, when we all come together, we try to chant 32 rounds or 64 rounds. On days when we're able to chant, when we chant more, we get a taste for chanting. And if the taste remains with us, we want to chant more, right? And those days when you're totally unwell, when you're not at all in the mood of chanting properly, we try to do our basic 16 rounds, praying to Lord Krishna. Oh Krishna, I want to chant, but somehow or the other, my mind is not cooperating with me, my body is not cooperating with me. I beg you that kindly allow me, give me a little taste so that I can chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. In this way, when we beg, because the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra itself is begging for service. Oh Supreme Lord Sri Krishna, O energy of the Supreme Lord Srimati Radharani, please engage me in your service, right? When we are asking for service, we are actually begging for service, because ultimately that is what is good for us, right? When we understand the mode of the chanting that we want to serve, it is a desire only that is ours. When we have an intense desire, we will be able to definitely conquer over our temporary bodily inconveniences, right? So it is said how Sanatana Goswami, he used to do the parikrama, Govardhan parikrama, and he could not even go around the Govardhan parikrama, but he used to still walk. And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually gave the Govardhan Shila and told him, you do parikrama of this. It amounts to actually going around. And Haridas Thakur was very old. He would not even have his prasadam without completing his 192 rounds of chanting. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself told him, you don't have to chant, right? You've already done so much of chanting. But Haridas Thakur himself said, oh, no, I want to do the chanting. I cannot stop chanting, right? So when we draw inspiration from all these people who have perfected their life, right? And we have to do minimum like 16 rounds is the bare minimum what we have to do. So somehow or the other, even if, as much as possible, we have this intense desire. I have promised to my Guru Maharaj that I will be doing minimum 16 rounds every day. And in case I miss, for whatever reason, sometimes we, Hare Krishna, sometimes we even sleep off, some days when you're very tired, we come back and sleep off, we've not completed our rounds. The next day, we feel so remorseful. We repent for what we've done. That kind of remorse repentfulness actually helps us to build that determination that I will never ever do this. When we feel so bad, what we have done, the next day we want to finish our rounds in the morning. We don't even want to come to this level where we keep our rounds till late in the night and somehow we sleep off. Somehow we don't finish our rounds. So we have to ensure that we keep an adequate amount of buffer. Right? I do my 16 rounds in the morning. I finish my rounds. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayat. Somehow or the other, I try to focus my mind on Krishna to complete my rounds. In case it does not happen, I'm totally unwell. Then at every opportunity, I try to chant in my mind. Right? In my mind, I always try to continue to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra while I'm not even able to move the beads. If that is our situation, we try to chant in the mind. Even if that is not possible, we discuss with our senior devotee or a counselor, giving our position, how we are not able to chant, what is the situation that you're going through, and we try to get some encouragement from them. We try to chant in their association. We try to take inspiration from their enthusiasm to chant, and in this way we try to chant. And if nothing works, you're not able to chant on a particular day, we should try to make up our rounds, whatever we've missed in one day, on the next day. In this way, what we are doing, we are not doing anything great. What we are trying to do, we are just simply showing our sincerity to Srila Prabhupada, to Srila Guru Maharaj, to Sri Krishna, that I want to do my rounds, but somehow or the other I could not do my rounds yesterday. So I am doing those rounds today because I want to be true to my word, true to the vow that I've taken, that I'll chant this minimum number of rounds. I'm doing it. The quality of my rounds may be very pathetic, very poor, but Krishna sees Bhavagrahi, right? He's Bhavagrahi Janardana. He sees our intention. I'm doing it for the pleasure of the Lord. I'm doing it because we are all sadhana. We are all mighty sadhana bhaktas, right? There's so much more to go where we have to come to the stage of Raganuga Bhakta, where we want to chant. Right? Right now, our situation is we are chanting because our spiritual master has told us, right? Because if we chant, we will reach that position where we want to chant the holy names, right? The holy names is both the sadhana as well as the sadhya. Right? The sadhya we have not yet realized. Krishna Prema, devotees having Krishna Prema always want to chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Narada Muni says Narayan, Narayan, Narayan all the time, right? But we are struggling to chant our minimum 16 rounds because so much of conditioning is there. The body is not cooperating. So much of things are happening. But our intense desire and focus should be, I have to complete my minimum 16 rounds today, right? Whatever be the state, I will complete my minimum 16 rounds. Whatever it may be needed. I know it in the morning itself. So I will find out all the possible avenues which will help me chant. If it is asking a senior devotee, if it is getting up in the morning, then if my body is not well, I can sleep in the afternoon. 12 to 2, we'll sleep, we'll take adequate rest. But we try to chant our rounds. Right? Take help from senior devotees. Take help, Prabhupada used to do when he was a grahastha, he used to chant 4 rounds in the morning before breakfast, 4 rounds before lunch, 4 rounds before evening time, and 4 rounds before dinner. So, we can
Yeah, she got froze, Mataji.
Yeah, maybe she'll come back. I think network might be a little poor or something.
Oh, okay. I'm getting a message that the internet connection is unstable. Are you able to hear me? I think I spoke a lot.
At the last, Mataji, little bit frozen, but I think now we are able to hear you, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji.
So I was just saying that, if our body is really not well, we seek the assistance of senior devotees, our counselors, our mentors, to be able to guide us. And most of the time, if our mind is tricking us, saying, you're not well, it's okay, you can do it tomorrow. In such circumstances, we have to beat the mind like a stick. Right? Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, beat your mind like with the chappals, right? Because they always deceive us. But if you're genuinely sick, then definitely devotees also will understand. We can take association with the senior devotees and take their guidance, by which we also chant our rounds, probably at a later date if you are completely unwell. But as far as possible, we should try to complete our rounds on the same day. Another thing that we need to keep in mind is if we don't chant our minimum 16 rounds, we are causing difficulty in the health of our guru, right? Because our guru at the time, especially for initiated devotees, when we are initiated, we have this responsibility because the guru has taken our karmas. Whenever we do something sinful, whenever we do something, we don't chant our rounds, we don't follow the regulative principles, You should always remember that this is causing some kind of discomfort for my Guru Maharaj, and do I want to be the cause for that, right? So we want to chant extra rounds so that we want that our Guru Maharaj keeps the very best of health, and we want to do so much for our Guru Maharaj does not need our whatever little sadhana we are doing. Guru Maharaj is not in need of it, but from a disciple's point of view, from a disciple's perspective, we need to ensure that I don't be the cause of any kind of discomfort, Guru Maharaj. I need to complete my vow of chanting the Hare Krishna mantra minimum 16 rounds, come what may. If I'm not able to do it for any reason, I consult with senior devotees. I find out a way by which I can do it, but I have to do it. That's the stance, especially for initiated devotees. Unless the health is so bad, then of course exceptions can be taken by the senior devotees in consultation with Guru Maharaj. So that's my limited understanding of the subject.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, did that answer your question, Mataji? I think Megha Mataji also raised the hand. Megha Mataji, if you still have a question, please go ahead, Mataji. Unmute yourself and ask the question.
Okay, I can see a question from Pooja Arora Mataji. She's saying, how can I join the Japa session? So,
yeah, we will. We have it, Mataji. I'll put it that thing because the Mataji already posted the thing. Mataji, there is a Telegram link and the WhatsApp link, Zoom link that you can join at 4 a.m. Our time, 5 a.m. our time, EST time. I'm posting it again, Mataji, Puja Mataji, for this thing.
I have just one question.
So there is a
one
link which
question,
is posted, Mataji. You can join through the link to the WhatsApp group, and Indian time it is 2:30. Everyday chanting is going on. So kindly join and get relish of the chatting with the devotees in Bhakti Sangha. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, I just have one question, please.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Mataji, I'm not able to take prasadam because in my family, all the members are non-devotees, and pyaj, lasun, that kind of material is also used in the food. I can't cook the food separately because of my health. So in that case, I feel very अपराध बोध होता है कि ये नहीं लेना चाहिए. But what should I do? I have to take that kind of food also. So maybe this is the reason that I can't concentrate on chanting.
okay. So Mataji, you have to pray to the Lord because prayers can actually move mountains. You can pray to the Lord that you want to practice the principles of Krishna consciousness very nicely. When you have this intense prayer, and how you can express your intensity to the Lord is by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, right? So although your situation may be that you're not able to have prasadam at this point in time, you can encourage your family to go to the temple during the festival days, like Narasingha Chaturdashi is coming on May 15th. On such festival days, you can take your relatives also to the temple. In this way, you can encourage them to go to the temple on festival days like that. And Mataji, the best thing is to pray intensely to the Lord, right? The Lord hears everyone's prayers, and when you're chanting, and because you said because of this, your mood is down, you're not able to chant. So actually, this should enable you to chant more intensely, Mataji, because you want your situation to change. You want your entire family members to become Krishna conscious, all of them having prasadam, right? So that when we have this intense desire, then we have to chant with that kind of intensity. Oh Krishna, I have no one else to go to. I'm just begging you that somehow or the other, let us all get into the place where we're able to take Krishna prasadam, where we're able to do this A, B, C, D, what you prescribed, right? Association of devotees, Bhagavata Shravana, chanting Hare Krishna in the association of devotees, and taking a diet of Krishna prasadam, and also damvas. Damvas is if you have this Laddu Gopal deity like that, you have some people have this small deities like that, or even the photographs of Radha Krishna. You can just, when you go to the temple on 15th May, for Lakshmi Chaturdasi or for Janmashtami, like that, you can just get a photo of Radha Krishna, you can get a photo of Panchatattva, and you can sit in front of the photograph, and then you can chant every day. When you chant the Panchatattva mantra, there are no offenses also that the mantra takes. When you chant Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, and then you chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, with intensity, with intense desire that somehow or the other I should come to the platform of at least following, this ABCD, as soon as possible. Oh Krishna, you know what is best for me, right? What is required for me, So I'm just completely surrendering unto you. In that mode of surrender, when you chant Namataji, the intense feeling actually comes. The emotion actually comes. That is the emotion that's required. Krishna is not in need of our, the breakfast and lunch what we prepare, right? The dosa, idli, rava upma, Lakshmi Sahasra Sata Sambrama Sevya Manam, right? Lord Vishnu, Lord Krishna is worshipped by Lakshmis with such opulence, with such tasteful, delicious food stuff, right? But Krishna very mercifully accepts what we offer, right? Whatever rava upma and dosa and idli what we offer, right? So Krishna just mercifully accepts it. So in order to come to that stage where we can offer based on our limited capacity, we intensely pray, Mataji. And such prayer is exhibited through the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, especially in this age of Kali. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam. Everything else will follow chanting, right? Nobody can stop you from chanting, Mataji. Anybody around you, if you have the intense desire for chanting, you don't need the chanting beads. You can count in your hands, right? Even the Sat Goswamis of Vrindavan, sometimes, they count their chanting in their fingers sometimes. So when you're not able to chant, openly also, when you are sleeping, you find some time, an exclusive time, that is your exclusive time with Krishna, right? When everybody is asleep, you wake up early in the morning, or, if you're busy throughout the day, a little bit of austerity, you wake up early in the morning, you complete your chanting, right? You chant one round for your husband, for your children also, right? Slowly they also get the sukriti, because you can chant for others also. The benefit goes to them, and they are able to more favorably take these principles of Krishna consciousness in their lives. So if you chant more, if you chant intensely with this deep desire that my family members should become Krishna conscious, oh Krishna, I should be able to practice the basic principles of Krishna consciousness. I should be able to advance from wherever I am to a level where I'm able to appreciate your greatness, your sweetness. You can read books or simply chanting, Mataji. 99% of our spiritual life depends on the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna nivishayat. And such remembrance is possible in this age of Kali by the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. After chanting the Panchatattva mantra, so the offenses are avoided, and we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra with the intense desire to serve the Lord. Krishna will open all doors, Mataji, to engage you in the service. And because of you, your family, entire family will become Krishna conscious. So it is an opportunity for you to not only deliver yourself, but to deliver your entire family. And the only thing is required is the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra and completely being dependent on the Lord. When we are chanting, we think that everything is depending on me. The way I chant, Krishna is going to be pleased by my endeavor. Once we complete our rounds, we surrender to Krishna. Krishna, I have done my best. Now it is for you to please help me so that I can improve every day. Because it's not a one-day process, not a one-year process. It is not even a lifetime process. It's only with the mercy of the Lord that, in this lifetime we may even perfect our life. But continuously, Ma Janmani Ishware Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahi Tuki Tvai. I want to render uninterrupted, unmotivated devotional service life after life, wherever I am. So that should be the mood of our chanting. And when Krishna sees our intensity, he will open all doors for us to engage ourselves in his service. And that is the perfection of life. So please try this, Mataji. And I'm just speaking theoretically. So I also seek the prayers that, the intensity of prayers is so much that it opens all doors. If something is not opening, that means I'm not desiring it as much, right? If we desire something so much, Krishna will open doors for us to ultimately reach our goal. So it is in that mode that we have to chant, Mataji. Chanting, nothing else. Hare Nama, Hare Nama, Hare Nama eva kevalam, only way, no other way. Nakalau nasti gati ranyata. In this Kali Yuga, all of us are manda sumanda matayo, manda bhagya. Everything, we are lazy, quarrelsome, want to fight at every small instance. Everything. We don't have the intelligence. We can't remember. What we, we take some. Suddenly we are very enthusiastic, And then after hearing a particular class, our enthusiasm dies down, and then we come back to our own levels. Very, very frail intelligence, focus, nothing we're able to do. But Kale Doshi Nitirajan is the Ekon Mahan Gunaha. One good quality is there. Kirtana Deva Krishnasya Mukta Sangha Param Vrajet. Whatever be our faults, whatever be our limitations, if we simply chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Krishna will open the doors for us to render devotional service unto him. So this is a promise that Krishna says, Yome Name Bhaktya Pranashyati. My devotee never perishes. And who is a devotee? A devotee is not somebody who is mechanically doing things. Right? A devotee is the person who sincerely prays to Lord Krishna to engage him in his service, to engage her in his service. And by simply with the chanting, which is begging for service for Lord Krishna, Krishna is Baba Grahi Janardana. Definitely he will ensure that all your desires are fulfilled. Not only you, your entire family become Krishna consciousness. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Would we offer outside food? If actually my periods, जो menstruation cycle is, I mean, sometimes it's come after 15 days, 10 days. It's a hormonal imbalance, doctor said. So in that case, if I want to, when I am not observed menstruation cycle in that period, when I am in safe period, then at that time could I offer outside food like biscuits and all that, or it's not possible, it's not to be offered to the Damodara?
Okay, so so if you're having photos in the house, so it is said that whatever goes below this kanti has to be prasadam, right? So whatever is offerable, right? Like for example, you have this machine-made items, like you have the chips, you have this biscuits and all that. It's not the perfect standard, Mataji, but definitely if we want to have only prasadam, and we get these biscuit packets, we can offer the biscuits to Krishna. We can offer the biscuit to Krishna, but at the same time, we have to pray to the Lord that now I'm in such a state that I'm not able to offer proper cooked bhoga, right, to Lord. But I want to reach that position, and whatever goes down my throat, I want it to be only Prasadam Krishna. So for that reason, I'm offering this biscuit, or everything, whatever goes down the throat, unless it is prohibited, right? Of course, onion, garlic, and all those stuff cannot be offered. But if it is, and even they say that even chocolates cannot be offered. But anything else which is offerable, right? Like you have your machine-made chips, potato chips, and all that, those can be offered. And of course, like Rani Mataji is saying, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, right? Fruits we can always offer to Krishna. And I heard one wonderful story of one Mataji very recently. It's a factual story. This Mataji told me, she's a very senior devotee now. So she told me that her husband used to drink alcohol, so what Mataji used to do is, without her husband knowing, she used to mix this water, which is offered to the Lord. And when her husband was actually, when she was preparing this drink for her husband, she used to mix this prasadam water and give her husband. In a few days, the husband told her, I'm not finding the taste in the alcohol. Now the husband has given up drinking alcohol, and now the husband is also an initiated devotee. This Mataji was telling me initial days how she tried various tricks because just by having that prasadam water, this Mataji was able to make her husband a devotee, right? So we don't know how which one will work. So whatever we eat, we can offer to Krishna, and like how patram pushpam phalam toyam, whatever fruits, wonderful fruits we're getting, mangoes, in India at this particular point in time. So whatever is the seasonal fruit you're getting, buy that, because we always buy seasonal fruits. Whether we're devotees or non-devotees, right? We always like to relish, what is the flavor of the season. So the best thing is to get such fruits, offer them to Krishna, and take Krishna prasadam. The fruits also turn delicious, more delicious than what it would be, and your family also would enjoy that prasadam. You can get up early in the morning, cut the fruits, offer it to Krishna and keep it ready, right? So when the husband wakes up or the children wake up, they immediately want to eat something. You already have the fruits at home, ready and offered and delicious on the table. So, that way they get this, they have prasadam, and in this way they do for some time, and automatically they themselves will want to offer and have it. Yeah, Mataji? I hope that helps.
Mataji, at the time of menstruation period, uh, uh, if we want to take prasadam, then we first touch the food to my kanti mala, tulsi kanti mala, and after that I could take. Is that okay?
I have not heard something like this. So generally, when we have our menstruation, either the husband or the children can offer the bhoga. But in your situation, Mataji, you can take the help of your counselor, who knows the situation in your home, and you can get personal guidance from your senior mentor or your counselor, who will be able to guide you. You can take the help of a senior, Grihastha Mataji, who will be able to guide you, Mataji. Because what is the actual situation in your house? What can be best done? Such a senior devotee who knows you well will be able to guide you on this. Which temple are you connected with, Mataji?
यस माता जी धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया माता जी, धन्यवाद। हरे कृष्णा माता जी, दंडवत प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Mataji, I'm sorry, I wanted to connect to Puja Mataji. Puja Mataji, are you there?
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, I really, I'm so happy that you're asking questions and you sound really very sincere. I mean, if you want to connect to somebody, I am doing devotee care services. I talk to devotees for hours, and if you want to connect, I will share my number. If you're interested. And other thing, I usually don't tell this to everybody, but onion and garlic, it all brings you to the mode of goodness. Per se, it is not devotional service. So, if you can just focus on the devotional service part and not worry about the rules and regulations for now, because I can hear you coming from a different space. We are all now, practicing for some time, and our answers will be like up there. So if you can take baby steps towards devotional service, not towards so much rules and regulations, and then eventually you yourself will understand, and Krishna will guide you the way Mataji said. He will send you strength, resources, and everything. Your family will also become a devotee because you're so sincere. You sound so sincere to me. I mean, I will tell you, I am still not that sincere the way you are. But, because of your conditions, you're sincere. I am nicely, my husband is a devotee. My kids are nicely chanting shlokas and all. I feel very, life is going nice. I take it casually. Mataji, seriously, you are doing very wonderful. And Krishna, I'm sure he's really pleased with you. So keep doing it, but just make sure that you focus on the principal part rather than just the rules and regulations. That will all follow. I used to eat meat. We did everything before coming to Krishna consciousness, but how we left it, we don't know. I never focused on it. And my counselor would tell, focus on those things that is possible for you rather than, which is difficult. For me to leave non-vegetarian food was much easier than living that, like stopping putting lipstick and makeup and all that. It was, that was something, my personality and my struggles. But Krishna, he brought me above all that. But I focused on baby steps and on Krishna conscious principles. So onion, garlic and all, if you keep it for some time, you will see Krishna will work magic into your life and your family and all. So if you want to connect, I will share my number. I'm available to talk to devotees. And there is nothing that I'm counseling, but I just listen to devotees and whatever we can share from Prabhupada's classes. The same like what Mataji shared. So I'm sorry, Mataji, your class, but I just thought that she's so sincere that I wanted to just express her that, that sincerity is the treasure for her. Thank you.
Thank you. Mataji, I would also say that, you connect with a senior devotee, who within the temple that you're connected to. So that, you start going to the temple, associating with those devotees on a regular basis, that will also help you. And of course, chanting is the key, Mataji. You chant more, and then Krishna will open all the doors for you.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for such a wonderful class and taking so much time to answer these questions. Really, really grateful to you for your services, Mataji. Mataji, do you have a Brahma Muhurta Japa session that's going on in India? Because this Mataji is from Haridwar. Our timings might not match hers. That's why, can you please share that information with her, Mataji? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. ISKCON Chennai is doing Brahma Muhurta chanting. I think, yeah, not Brahma Muhurta. I think it's from 6 a.m. So if it's okay, then Mataji can join.
Yeah, we have this
Yes.
Brahma Muhurta program starting from 5 to 7, where we do a congregational chanting japa. So I'll share this with detail with Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, and she can post it in the group. Are you a part of this WhatsApp group? Or I'll just share it right over here.
Mataji, you can share here in the chat. Is it possible to do that, Mataji?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I know there is also there's Radhika Kripa Mataji's there's a Brahma Muhurta chanting session that goes on every day from 5 to 6:15. So I can send you the link for the Zoom for that session too here. I'll share.
Wow, devotees are desiratory. See how many options we got to chant our rounds in the morning. Yeah.
You can join this WhatsApp group where we have regular daily morning Brahma Muhurta chanting as per the Indian Standard Time. Maybe from 5 to 7 a.m.
Thank you so
Hare
much,
Krishna,
Mataji.
Medhavini Sakhi Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you so much, Mataji, for accepting the request, coming on the call, and very beautiful class and nice question answer session. Very grateful to you, Mataji. Hari Bol.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Such a wonderful, wonderful class, very power-packed class, and they told all nook and corners like how we have to surrender to Krishna and how he will take care of us. And most importantly, about the chanting, you were saying last like half an hour, you gave us such a wonderful session on chanting also. So thank you so much, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, such a wonderful. Basically, if you take care of chanting, everything will be taken care by Krishna, because he will only see as Bhavagrahi Janardana, he will only see what is the desire we have. And also you mentioned in the prayers, how intense our prayers are with whatever the difficulties or the situations we have. If we have that intense desire and then offer that prayers to Krishna, saying that please help me somehow or the other, even though I'm not qualified to be, then please help me to be able to chant your name so that I can progress. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very, very wonderful, Mataji. Devotees, Mataji, do you have any time for more questions, Mataji, or?
Yeah, are there more questions? Yes, I can take more.
I don't see in the anybody raised hands, Mataji, but so many devotees has mentioned that power pack class, and it's a wonderful class, Mataji. So devotees, if you have any questions, please go ahead and ask. If not, we can end the call here.
Mataji.
Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, then please accept my humble obeisances. Actually, I have this question. Like you mentioned that Srila Prabhupada has written that the size of the moon is bigger than the size of the sun. So how we can take this, Mataji? Because from the schooling we have been learning in a different way, and when it comes to kids, if we want to explain it through scriptures, they will question us. So how we can answer them?
Yeah. So actually, whatever we study in the school, right? So we also study this Darwin theory of evolution, right? It says that we have come from a monkey, right? So so whatever knowledge we've acquired from our material senses, is what we said, that the knowledge that we acquire using our material senses is very limited, right? And it is covered with illusion, imperfect senses, and then we have this tendency to make mistakes, and then we have the tendency to cheat also, right? So we cannot see our own back also, and we cannot see, when something is very close to our eyes also, we cannot see. If something is very far also, we cannot see. Like we have our imperfect senses also. So with this imperfect senses, we are not able to assimilate. See, whatever the scientists, what they do, they only experiment using the material things, right? What is transcendental, what is beyond, cannot be understood by experimentation, right? There is Shabda Praman, and there is Shabda Praman is supposed to be the best because it's oral reception where we hear. And the other one is a Pratyaksha Praman. Pratyaksha Praman is we try to see and we try to understand things. But what is it that we can see with our material eyes, right? With so much of limitations, correct? So what we perceive with the senses, instead of going by that, we should go by Shabda Praman. And Shabda Praman means we hear. From whom do we hear? If you want to hear from another person who is also in this material world, who is within this 4 limitations, then what we hear is not the true knowledge, right? We may study for years and we may become PhDs, but we not get the actual knowledge. We have to hear from a bona fide guru who teaches from the Vedas, which is Apaurushaya. The Vedas is from the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself, right? And Krishna says, Vedesha Sarvam Ahameva Vedyu, right? From all the Vedic literatures, when you read, you have to understand who is Krishna, who am I, and what is my relationship with Krishna. When you understand this and we work according to this, then all the other related knowledge automatically comes to us, right? Whether the moon actually, like I said, the moon is, Prabhupada says, a fiery planet, which means the moon has a light of its own. Whereas in our science books, we study that the moon draws its light from the sun, right? So there are a lot of, Prabhupada, like also, we also mentioned this purport also, Prabhupada mentions that, so the Neil Armstrong and Edwin Aldrin went to the moon. We study from our history, the textbooks, right? From the childhood, we've been studying, mugging up and writing the exam and passing. But now, very, very clearly, scientists are only saying, we cannot go and enter into the moon. With this body, we cannot enter into the moon, right? But we have to go to a particular planet. Bhagavad Gita says, Yanti Deva Vrta Devan, Pitran Yanti Pitr Vrta. If you want to go to a Devata's planet, worship that Devata, please that Devata, and go to that planet. Otherwise, we cannot enter into this body. We cannot enter into the sun planet. Sun planet has jivas, right? Vivaswan is the head of the sun planet, right? Krishna says, I gave this knowledge to Vivaswan, who is in the sun planet. So when the body is so composed so as to suit a particular type of environment, right? In this body, I can only stay in this earthly planet. I cannot go to the moon. I cannot go to the sun. I get burned by the sun because my body is such. So similarly, there's so much of knowledge what we acquire in our material knowledge that we acquire in schools, all are covered by these 4 defects. So we cannot take them to be true. The true knowledge is what has come from the bona fide disciplic succession from the 4 bona fide paramparas, right? The Shri Sampradaya, the Brahma Matva Gaudiya Sampradaya, the Kumara Sampradaya, and the Shri Sampradaya. So these 4 are the authorized Sampradayas. So whatever knowledge is coming through the proper disciplic succession, which has been started by Lord Sri Krishna through the Vedas, which is Apaurushaya, that is only correct, right? So we have to explain to our children also, right? Sometimes, we have to explain to them that with very simple logic we can explain, right? Because, the soul is described as 1/10,000th tip of a hair, which you cannot even see through a microscope, right? And, nowadays they are saying, what is the difference between the body and the soul also? And the science, they say that, life can be created using chemicals, right? That's what the scientists say. Even now, they're trying to experiment and find out how it can be done. But very clearly, when a person dies, we say he has gone, right? Who is the he who has gone? The body is still there, right? So what we understand from our acharyas, that is what is considered to be absolute truth. Otherwise, everything else is relative, right? It is not absolute truth. And what is relative keeps changing with the perception of our mind, with the perception of our intelligence, right? And that is not absolute truth. Absolute truth is absolute and truth at all times, all places, and all circumstances. Yeah?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Explain to our kids, to write the exam, we have to study that, because we want to attain a particular stage where they're able to contribute to the society. So unfortunately, we have to study in the schools and we have to study in the syllabuses like that. But we have to understand in our mind and also tell our children and educate our children that this is not all in all. This is not absolute knowledge. This is all very specific related knowledge, which is true to our particular time, place, and circumstance, not absolute truth. That we have to educate our children.
Sure, Mataji. So is there a way that our ISKCON is trying to like prove that whatever is there in the scriptures is the right one, and rather than the people who have come up with their relative thoughts?
Yeah. So if you see in Bombay, we have this Gopal's Garden School, which is run by the Radha Gopinath Temple. Wherein the subjects are same. You can't change the CBSE board or books. You cannot change the books, but there is a frequent association by devotees, and also most of the temples offer the Sunday fun school. Even if your children go to a normal school and you don't have the privilege of a devotee school, most of these ISKCON centers run a Sunday fun school. Where the children of the same age get together and they are taught these principles of Bhagavad Gita. What is the absolute truth? How we have to utilize the whatever we have. There's Yukta Vairagya and there is Falgu Vairagya. Falgu Vairagya means you just say 90, 90, 90. I will not use this because this is material. I will not use this material. No, that is Falgu Vairagya. But what Srila Prabhupada has taught us is Yukta Vairagya. Everything is what is created here is created by the Lord and has to be used in the service of the Lord. Right? As long as we use everything in the service of the Lord, we don't have to renounce anything. Right? So this microphone, this computer, this Zoom, everything is material, right? Apparently, the same thing can be used to watch movies and all those things. But we are utilizing it in the service of the Lord by hearing about the Lord, by speaking about the Lord, by having nice darshan of the Lord, right? Use all these technical equipments, mic, everything in the service of the Lord. That is actually Yukta Vairagya. So we need to teach our children that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We are servants of the Lord. We are parts and parcels of the Lord. Bhagavad Gita tells us, Amevamso Jiva Loke Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Right? So we are parts and parcels of the Lord, and we have to engage whatever we have in the service of the Lord. So when this knowledge comes, right, and having Krishna in the center, when we learn everything else, then everything falls in the proper perspective. So I hope that answers Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. But my question was like, is there a way that we as an like from ISKCON, like we are trying to prove that whatever the existing theories are there, that they are wrong and whatever mentioned in the scriptures is the right one? Is there a way that is there a way or anyone is trying to bring that topic that this is what is the truth?
Correct. So we have many scientists also like this Prabhupada's disciples, who are trying to bring this by placing the books in various libraries, etc. And we also have a responsibility, Mataji. But the more we distribute Prabhupada's books, the more people read Prabhupada's books, right? The teachers, the professors, the people who run these institutes, everybody read Prabhupada's books, and then gradually this change will come. Wherein everything is like Prime Minister Modi now says, Vasudeva Kudumbakam, right? Everything is the world, with the focus on Vasudeva, which is Lord Krishna. So when everything focuses or centers around the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then like Krishna says, he will give us the intelligence by which we are able to understand, right? So generally, most of the times the devotees, they don't want to get into this kind of arguments, proving that there is this wonderful pastime where Jiva Goswami, actually, there is one devotee who actually goes around with a Pramana Patra saying that, I get into a debate and then you need to sign this Pramana Patra that, I've been defeated by so and so. So what happens? Rupa Goswami, he doesn't want to spend time debating with this person. So he signs and gives it off, saying, I'm defeated by this so and so person, like that, right? So, and even Sanatana Goswami writes and gives it. And then Jiva Goswami fights with him and he tells him that, what my guru has said, I will defeat you and in that way I will save my guru. But the guru was not pleased with the disciple. So in that way, the most of the times, it is only by the, you have the authority of the guru and then you go ahead and preaching in that particular way. Otherwise, most of the devotees, they don't want to spend time in unnecessary debate and argument. Right? If somebody is favorable to hear the message of Krishna, able to understand the message of Bhagavad Gita, then we distribute the books of Bhagavad Gita. In that way, we try to spread the Sanatana Dharma, the knowledge of Sanatana Dharma, absolute knowledge. But otherwise, we don't want to unnecessarily debate or prove somebody wrong, because that's not the point, right? The point is a transformation of our life, right? A lot of times we have this knowledge, we have this education, but we don't. It does not result in transformation. Then it becomes like a waste of time, right? Like Mataji has mentioned about the spiritual scientist. So there's Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, who has the scientific bent of mind, who uses the Vedic knowledge that is required and applies it to the current circumstances, right? Does God exist? Why bad things happen to good people? All these are covered as part of our basic initial science of self-realization course. But of course, we don't go out and just proving ourselves or fighting or debating with people. But of course, the knowledge as a treasure is available in Srila Prabhupada's books, which we distribute profusely to whoever is interested. And in this way, we create awareness about the absolute truth.
Sure, Mataji. Yeah, totally get it. Yeah. Thank you.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Yeah. Mataji posted spiritualscientist.com on truth is truth and is revealed in scriptures. Scriptures are treated as mother. ISKCON is following the parampara system. Prabhupada says it is the not invented system. Sundari Mataji also says there are devotees who are publishing scientific research in the journals too. Yeah, as Mataji pointed out, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, and there are other Prabhujis who is doing this, the books form. Thank you, Mataji.
Are there any further questions, Mataji?
Any further questions to anybody, any devotees? If there are no further questions, we can pay our obeisance to Mataji and then we can end the call. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Her Grace Medhavini Sakhi Devi Mataji ki jai, Hare Krishna, Hare Bol.
Radhe Radhe.
Thank you so much,
Mataji.
Thank you. Such wonderful class.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Danvat Pranam. Thank you
Hare
so
Krishna,
much.
Danvat Pranam Mataji.
Danvat Pranam. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Danvat. Danvat. Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna.
Radhe Radhe. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you everyone for joining today.